Welcome to Cleaning Company Blueprint. I'm Victoria, and this is Kevin from Convertlabs. And we are here today to answer a question from one of our members of our community. So, Kevin, what's the question?
Yeah, so somebody asked, first call I received from a potential client for a move in, move out cleaning, 2,600 square feet, 5 bedroom, 3 bathroom. What questions should I ask them? And yes, I remember the place needs to be empty, no taking out trash.
So, they want to know what other questions to ask them. Well, they should have probably done this when they were already on the phone with them, but I can safely give a few questions that I always ask. One of my questions I always ask the client or potential client is, have you had professional cleaners before? If they answer, yeah, okay, how long ago was the last professional cleaning? That's just to get a sense of how dirty the home is going to be. If they've never hired professional cleaners before, I'll say, okay, cool. So we're going to be your first cleaning experience. Let's make this a lot less stressful than it could potentially be for you. Since you haven't had cleaners in before, let me walk you through it. And then I'll explain the home needs to be completely empty. So when do the movers arrive? Is everything out? And I mean inside the cupboards, all the clothes, everything out. That's really important because you will not believe how many of them think they can have cleaners at the same time as the movers. And neither parties likes that. Okay, so your movers get mad and your cleaners get mad. So you avoid that. Sometimes I'll ask them to send a photo of the dirtiest part of the house. And I'll say, would you mind just taking a picture of what you think the dirtiest part is, just so that we can get prepared? And don't worry, there's no judgment on our part. We've seen all kinds. We just need to make sure we're bringing the right tools. Okay, what am I
Yeah.
missing, Kevin? What else should I?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's important to ask like the last time it was professionally cleaned because you really don't know if the house has just been sitting around. Like maybe it was for sale for a year
Yep.
and it's just got dust caked into places you wouldn't believe, ceiling fans and chimneys and, it could just be a total mess, even though it's empty. So yeah, you definitely want to, ask those types of questions to get an idea of the condition of the house. But then also, these people are just usually move in, move out. They're just looking for somebody to just come and like
Solve the problem.
solve the problem, get my deposit back, or let me be ready for new renters, right? So
Mm.
usually in a mindset of like they're ready to go. They don't really need to be sold too much as long as you're not priced, twice as much as your competitors. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it also depends, like, did they ask for a price first off, or did they ask for availability?
Right.
In my experience, I found that there's kind of 2 different types of clients. The ones that ask for availability, they know what they're getting into. They know
Yeah.
the cleaning companies are busy. The ones that start with price, they're price shopping, they have no idea what they're getting into.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's almost always a great idea to ask what the occasion is for a cleaning. So if it's like a one-time cleaning, right, and Mother's Day is coming up, we can ask them, oh, so is this, Mother's Day, are you guys having a party, right? Because there's opportunities there. But if it's a move in, move out, it's a good idea to ask them questions for you to understand, are they a landlord? Are
Yeah.
they a property management company that has 500 properties, right? Or are they a tenant who is really just kind of looking to get their deposit back and needs the basic clean that they can get away with, right? So it's important to kind of figure out who it is that you're talking to and then serve them for what kind of solution that they need to be fixed, right?
Yeah, that's great. And also, if they are renters, if they have a property management company that provides them a list of what needs to be done, you can ask to see that list ahead of time to cross reference it against your own list. 'Cause sometimes some property management companies expect the cleaners to lift the fridge or lift the stove. And some of those are really heavy. And so right away, I'll be like, hey, just a heads up, if your management company wants us to do that, they need to do the heavy lifting themselves. Our cleaners won't lift anything over 25 pounds. So it's kind of a health and safety conversation that I always have with them, especially for move outs. I have them always, but particularly for move outs, where I explain they can't get on ladders. Now, in our case, we're in a location where we have very strict health and safety regulations because our government has them in place. So we have to follow them. A lot of places don't. So you have to figure that out in your state or city by doing your research. Make sure you're on the same page, have a 24-hour guarantee, but explain that it does assume a certain level of care has been given to the home.
Yeah, and so this is basically it. I mean, this is sales, which is just asking questions.
Yeah.
We don't have to explain our 17-step cleaning method.
Nobody cares about that.
Nobody cares about that. You're
No.
not explaining away anything, right? Right. So we're going to qualify these people. We're going to make sure they're like a decision maker.
Yeah.
They need this service, right? The house is
Ready.
serviceable for us to do. It's not a biohazard. It's not a hoarder's house. It's just, somebody looking to spruce up their home. And then we're asking them questions of how to get them booked, right? So we're booking them over the phone. What's your name? What's the service address, et
Mhm.
cetera. And it's really just that simple. It's not a complicated process.
By the way, Kevin, in Convertlabs, I love how you've added the Zillow integration. So
Mm.
when I'm on the phone with someone who wants to know, I can say, "Hey, give me your address," and I'll just type it in, and then I get the square footage immediately.
Yeah.
And it is so handy because sometimes people will say like, "Oh no, it's only about 1,000 square feet." And I pull it up and I'm like, "So is it a rental in an 8,000 square foot house?" Or and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, it is 8,000 square feet, but I only need," and I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
So having the actual square footage of the house has been extremely helpful when I'm answering sales calls.
Yeah. You got to do it in a way that's not creepy, where you're like, actually, your house is 2,608 square feet. And
And I
I
can see
know
inside your
where
living
your
room right
office
now.
is right now. Yeah. Do you still have this leather couch that you're sitting on?
Yeah, no.
So basically, when you type in an address on ConvertLabs when you're creating a booking, we have a Zillow integration which will pop up all that information. So you can kind of see the house and make sure it's not a McMansion that they're trying to get away with, trying to get
The
a
last
price
thing
that's
I
a
need.
lot less. Yeah.
And then the last thing I will do is ask them, especially if it's a sale of a house, when is the key exchange? So if
Right.
key exchange is at 12 o'clock on Saturday and they're booking us for Friday, but the movers come on Wednesday, then I'll suggest, hey, how about we do Thursday? We have a 24-hour guarantee that gives us a day buffer between your key exchange and our cleaners because they're human and they make mistakes, but we do guarantee the clean. So it's great to have a little bit of a buffer there just in case there's any areas we need to touch up.
Yeah.
They love that. Chances are their key exchange and their moving day are like within 24 hours. So if
But
you
it's also important because there could be more than just movers, right? They could need to get electrical problems fixed or have a plumber
painters.
come in before the close of escrow, and they need to get stuff done. So you want to make sure that you guys are the last ones in that house.
Yeah, which is so key, and they don't know, right? So, like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to, like, teach them or educate them, but in a way I am, because 'cause I'm saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, here are our boundaries so that you know how we can do the best work possible, so that you don't have the stress that you will have if you try to do it this other way,"
Hmm.
right? Because it's about reducing their stress. We're actually giving them peace of mind. It's not just a clean home, it's peace of mind.
Yep.
So, if you've enjoyed this, hit subscribe, leave us a comment, leave a question. Maybe you have a better question, and maybe we left something totally out. We're also human.
Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody.